I was on the way to Byron Bay, a drive that would take me around 10 hours. I was told about these rest areas along the side of the highway. Some offer free coffee and snacks, which I love the idea of. I had just passed Newcastle, up the Toon, and close by was Stockton Beach. I was told when buying my car that it could do a little bit of off-road, so I naively attempted the beach's brief expanse of sand dunes. As you can see, I made it not even 10 metres before I ground to a halt. Accepting defeat, I reversed out, while only displaying minor jealousy to the beastly four-wheel drive wagons, who treated the dunes as if they were a concrete road. After maybe the 6th attempt, I finally escaped the sandy web, and after giving Rita, the RAV4, a little rest, we flew on. Arriving at Port Macquarie, I spotted the 5th mystery machine I've seen so far. And after looking round some of the shops and sights, I made something to eat. Feeling content, I had a little explore of a nearby beach. The famous red dirt is becoming a lot more frequent now. I love walking around in nature at the best of times, but after a drive, it is especially rewarding. You technically weren't allowed to camp on this beach, but because so many others were, I felt safe to do so. It was one of the best night's sleeps I've had so far in the car, a really friendly atmosphere. Sorry mate, only got coffee. Coffs Harbour was my next point of call, one step closer to Byron Bay. I hoped this spot just off the beach would do for the night. I heard some music coming from the trees behind me. It turned out there was a club there, right on the beachfront. It wasn't an atmosphere I was expecting, but it was definitely an atmosphere I embraced. I didn't spend long in Coffs Harbour, and didn't film much either really. Nevertheless, I was drawing in on my final destination. The roads were pretty busy. It turned out I'd arrived to Byron Bay on market day. I could see that once upon a time this was the ultimate hippie surfer paradise, that now was unfortunately more commercialised. It is still a lot more free-spirited than anywhere else I've been so far though, with the streets littered with funky clothes shops, ordained with sparkled jewellery, accompanied with fragrant smells. I was told about a lighthouse that was the most eastern point of the Australian landmass. There was no parking as it was too busy, so I made the long hot walk up. Even some of the vans were struggling. But with lovely views and English grit, I powered on. I finally made it, but I was deceived. The true point of interest was down there, so of course I walked down. It felt special standing here. Just for a brief moment, I was the furthest person east on this huge country. I saw some surfers surfing and then some fallers falling. The water was beautifully clear, and sitting at the perfect temperature, I had a little dip. It was pretty strict in relation to sleeping in vehicles overnight, so I opted for the bar car park approach, which was offered to me as long as I bought a drink or two. The next morning, the market was gone without a trace. Shops, music, people vanished, making the day before seem like a distant dream. While I was there, I was offered a fruit picking job, which I eagerly responded to. This meant leaving Byron Bay and continuing on up north. Stopping off briefly at the Gold Coast, the streets were full of people, loud music and partying. Combined with how close it is to the beach, I think I will return again at some point. But for now, I had to continue on. I parked up at the farming hostel. The first few days, I was greeted by distant thunderstorms that echoed on into the night. Misty mornings greeted me, until the storms eventually found their way here. These all took a toll on my trusty flip-flops that took me all around Central America. They were past the point of repair, so unfortunately I had to say bye to flip and flop. But for now, my role as a lemon picker for the next few weeks begins.